getting way too comfortable in here. Way too comfortable.
In the Losers Lounge?
I feel like I got my own seat, you know? Like it's...
I feel like I don't like the divot that your backside is left in the...
Just sinking into it, becoming one with this chair. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Losers Lounge. Nuggets, third straight loss, this time to the Dallas Mavericks. A game that, you never know, these ones add up, man. Dallas, a team you're going to be competing with.
They totally add up.
They definitely add up. 3-game losing streaks add up. And there's plenty of breakdown. There's a lot of things that happened in this game. Some good. There are actually some very good things that happened from this game that I'm very encouraged by.
Right.
But there's also some things that were not so good.
Like the game?
Yeah, like the game. Yeah, the game part was pretty bad. So we're going to go through all of that as the Nuggets drop 116-115 to the Dallas Mavericks. But first, we're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR. Dev says he made lots of money. Here's Superstar Dev. Was it on Luka?
I did make money on Luka, but I went as under in the like a live.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The over. I made a lot of money on the over in that game, but not a fun game.
No, it was not a fun game.
Not a fun game.
Yeah.
It was not a fun game. D-Line is telling us, man, you guys have been too riding the waves.
Well, but look at me now.
Let me say this. You were riding a wave. I was sitting next to you. I
Yeah,
was,
but I
I was riding a wave with you. We were surfing together.
Yeah, but like I wasn't like saying that Malone needs to be fired. Or
well, nobody's saying Malone needs to be fired.
Well, have you checked the time? Are you
Well, I'm no okay.
You're
I should say nobody said
You're
Malone
spending
should
too
be
much
fired.
time on Mastodon.
Yeah, well, Mastodon,
come back to
Mastodon
Twitter with
is
us.
melting down right now. Mastodon is in full meltdown mode over this game. Absolute shambles, Mastodon. Yeah, so tonight the Nuggets take on. This is the second game. The thing that's tough for me is we'll get to the quick recap in a second. What's tough for me is we talk about Michael Malone really wants to make home. You want to reestablish home court this year. Last year wasn't such a thing. You're coming on a 2-game losing streak. This is the second game, and it's really the second game in 2 weeks, but it's the second game this season where the Nuggets have lost to a team on the second night of a back-to-back. Remember when coming to Denver on the second night of a back-to-back was like, don't even pack your bags. You guys, we're going to shut everyone down. You're too tired. This was the slowest freaking game you've ever seen in your life. So many fouls. This game I could have played in, Dev. This is the kind of game I would have loved to be in. I don't have to run up and down the court more than one time down, take a break. One time down, lock it up. This was a slow-paced game.
Yeah, all you got to do is be able to knock down an open shot because you're gonna get plenty of those.
And and that's an interesting thing to bring up here. So why don't we do a quick recap here? And actually, it's a lot of notes, so this might be a slow recap. Keep me on time. Keep me on time here, fellas. The story of the night, and we're going to get into this a lot. Mavs hard doubling Jokic from the start. We've seen teams go with this strategy. What does it do? When they hard double Jokic, you're vulnerable to open shots, yes. But what you're really doing in this game, I thought, was daring the other team's secondary playmakers, Jokic the primary, secondary playmakers to attack a scrambled defense. And Denver couldn't do that in large part because Jamal Murray wasn't on the court. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Mavs are also a very bad defensive rebounding team. And they play at the slowest pace, and they're playing on the second night of a back-to-back. So you know what you do there, in my opinion, one good smart thing? Hit the offensive glass. Because they're not going to punish you. They don't want to run. So you can go for the boards. Denver did not try to do that tonight at all. Vlatko, first sub in the game. Noteworthy. Played horrible. Mini run for Dallas in that first quarter. Denver was just turning it over. Also noteworthy. Denver, lots of turnovers tonight, although a lot of those turnovers were, again, secondary playmakers. What happens once the ball gets forced out of Jokic early in the shot clock? Rough Vlatko minutes. Zeke had some, I thought, very good defensive possessions on Luka in that first quarter. I was actually impressed with him all night. He'll be a storyline, but it was 36-29 Mavericks in large part because of that run that the Mavs went on against the Denver Nuggets starters. Christian Brown in the game. He's in. He's back in the rotation. We called for it.
Yeah.
Josh Green, by the way, who's kind of a big, it's funny, man. Josh Green has to go to the bench because he picks up 3 fouls in like 1 minute. And it might have been the worst thing to happen to the Nuggets because he's been shooting the ball well, but instead you keep Dorian Finney-Smith on the court a little bit longer. And my God, that guy did not miss tonight. And by the way, Mavs not at all afraid of Denver secondary playmakers, but they're also hunting everybody in the second unit besides Zeke and Christian Brown. I thought you go back and watch this game, you'll notice the Mavs play a boring style. It's very effective, but it's very boring. They just hunt for the matchup they want and then attack them one-on-one. With Luka, with Dinwiddie, those two guys or Christian Wood sometimes, those guys just hunt the matchup, get the ball to the guy, and then go. And they were attacking Bones Hyland first and foremost in this game. We'll talk a lot about that. Bruce Brown, they would actually hunt out Bruce Brown to go at him. I thought that was, there's something there we got to talk about. And then Jeff Green, they actually were hunting him out early on because Jeff Green was a step slow. I thought he picked it up, though, in the second half. Bones in with the starters, however, and he was hitting Jokic in stride. His offense tonight was incredible. Yep. I thought Bones Hyland was prime Jamal Murray-esque tonight in how he was getting the ball to Jokic in the two-man game and then, of course, scoring on his own. But, of course, his defense was another story. And Murray was struggling. Even when he was before the foul trouble, Murray was having a really bad game on the offensive end. Luka 4 of 6 from the three-point line in the first half. That was the difference in the first half. All this other stuff happened, but Luka was on fire as well in the first half. 64, 58 Mavs at the half. Nuggets with a run to start the half, though. The second half, they come out, third quarter, guns blazing. Jokic, guns blazing. Murray got 2 fouls on 1 possession. So Mavs call a timeout because I think the Nuggets took the lead. Mavs call a timeout. Out of that timeout, Jamal Murray got 2 fouls on one play. They inbound it. He gets a foul in the backcourt. Move the ball around. I think it was an offensive rebound. He gets a shooting foul in the corner, and he goes to the bench. And I'm telling you, Dev, in a game in which the Mavs were saying, we dare your secondary playmakers to beat us, well, your best secondary playmaker is Jamal Murray. He goes out the game, and it was a death knell for the Denver Nuggets. To me, that was the biggest moment of the game, and it really decided the game. Mavs caught fire. Denver, I thought, actually turned their defensive intensity up, but Dorian Finney-Smith could have missed. Tim Hardaway Jr. hit 4 3. They had 4 threes in a row in that third quarter, right after Jamal Murray got had to go to the bench. But the Nuggets rally. Bones behind the back turnover. Do you guys remember this on the break to tie the game? I thought that was a huge. Denver was rallying. They got down like 11. Then they rally all the way back. Bones behind the back to Christian Brown. A 90-mile-per-hour fastball that he just missed went out. It was a turnover. And it stuck out in my mind because I'm like, damn, that was to tie the game. That was a big one. 91-86 Mavs at the end of 3. And then here you go. Big minutes 4. Bones Hyland, Christian Brown, Zeke Naji, and Jeff Green. And I thought it was really good. The other guy out there was Jamal Murray. Murray was still struggling, but he was being aggressive, but it wasn't like exactly working out. Jokic missed a 3 to tie. KCP missed an open 3, wide open 3 in the corner to tie.
Why are we talking about old stuff?
I know. I'm just telling you how many times, because we're going to talk about this game as if it was an inevitable.
We're going to talk about all the stuff they missed.
I'm just saying, we're going to talk about it as if it's inevitable. Listen to all these little margins that Denver could have had just one of them go their way. Jokic missed a 3 to tie. KCP missed a 3 to tie. Bones got beat backdoor on a really bad play where Denver played 23 and a half seconds of great defense. Bones got beat on a backdoor cut for a layup, and it ended in a crushing dunk. But then, finally, Bruce Brown hits a Hail Mary 3 at the end of a bad possession offensively, and you thought, you gave up on the game. We all did. They were down like 9. Bruce Brown hits a Hail Mary 3 to cut it to 6, and you're like, okay, well, maybe, whatever. Dorian Finney-Smith answers. Anyway, game goes back and forth. Mavs are up 2. Jokic missed the free throw in the clutch. It was a killer. He goes 1 of 2 at the line. Denver had no timeouts left because of some rage timeouts that had happened earlier in the game. Denver has no timeouts in that sequence, and they're forced to rebound the ball, try to go the full length of the court. Jamal Murray only makes it to about half court before he puts a heave up, and like every other shot he took tonight, it did not go in. All right. I know that was annoying because I had to give all of those pieces because it shows so much. But, Dev, what's your main takeaway from this one?
My main takeaway is the fact that Denver shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
A lot in that game. Plenty of turnovers. Like you talked about, the missed free throws at the end of the game. Jamal played horribly. I think they shot themselves in the foot. Just did not close situational ball. It was not great. Great. The thing that was so wild about them shooting themselves in the foot is I feel like this was a game that Malone did switch it up for once.
Right.
Tried a lot of new things, threw things at Luka and the Mavericks, and they just kind of capitalized. So, I think that there was encouraging moments throughout this game, which makes the loss tougher. Just because I feel like they played well, good enough to win the game, but they knocked down a few more shots.
Yeah, and you mentioned, those other guys coming in. I thought they were great. We're going to talk about them a little bit later because they were a lesser impact on this game. But I thought both Christian Brown and Zeke Naji had very, very good games, and did what they were needed. What's your big takeaway, Eric?
That was so frustrating. That was the most frustrating game I can ever remember.
Slow frustration.
It was slow death. They kept getting right on the goddamn doorstep, and they'd make some terrible play over and over. They would dribble it into traffic, turn the ball over 3 times in a row. Just everything that they could do to just They just kept getting right there and then just doing the dumbest thing ever, like over and over and over, or just being like deeply unclutch, or just being lazy on defense, or just like whatever. That game was absolutely there for the taking for them. It was the second night of a back-to-back for the Mavericks. That should be a guaranteed victory for the Denver Nuggets. And I'm so disappointed in Jamal. Like he just looks like he's like, I don't know. Like
he doesn't have the competitive fire, it seems. There's so much of like, dude, come on, this is the moment. Like, get mean. They were even hunting him on defense, and you're like, come on, man.
We were just saying, like, he has no juice right now.
He's
juiceless.
No juice. Yeah, he's so
My
juiceless.
man is juiceless.
He's so juiceless, man. It is such a drag. My big takeaway here is Jamal as well. And it's Jamal in this one, because I think if you look at the box score, there's going to be a temptation here to look at this and say, guys, Jamal Murray was a plus 15, the best on the team by a mile. And the point is, yeah, he was. He was. He should have been out there more. He should have been out there because, again, the Dallas's game plan tonight, I saw somebody in my mentions today, and I didn't reply to it. Somebody was like, Jokic needs to wake up. I'm thinking, are you watching this game? Are you seeing what's happening? Dallas is compromising their defense to say, Yoke, just get we're not letting you even turn. We're going to send two. As soon as the ball goes to you, we're going to send two bodies at you, and let's see what happens. And Yoke, I thought, smartly all night, put himself in position on the court to make the rotations the furthest, gets the ball out of his hands, and it's like, guys, it's 4-on-3. We need somebody to attack. And when it was Jamal Murray was out on the court, even though he was off, you had a second guy that could at least get into the paint and collapse the defense further till you got something wide open. When he wasn't on the court, though, it's Christian Brown. It's Bones Hyland, who I thought did a good job tonight, but again, compromised you a little bit on the defensive end. It was Bruce Brown who's in a little bit of a rut. It was KCP who missed some shots. It just wasn't guys that could take advantage of it. This was a game plan that said, we think you guys have one guy who could set the table, and we're going to do something so compromising to take the ball out. We'll see what you can do. And they would have beat him if only Jamal could have just stayed on the court tonight.
Stayed on the court, like in which way? Sorry,
because he was in foul trouble in that second half. I mean, he picked up those two fouls. First of all, he picked up fouls early in the game too, but he picked up those two fouls to start the third quarter and had to go to the bench with 8 minutes and 34 seconds and sit out the rest of that game of that quarter.
I feel like Jamal played too much in this game, so it's a bit shocking, really, that you're saying that. Like, I really don't think he played well at all. Could not knock down a shot at all.
He was really bad.
Over dribbling a lot. I feel like he made it a point to just go at the refs the entire game, and that was like his game plan for the game. He's clapping after every single play. Dumb turnovers did not feed Jokic or just get the ball to the right man. So like, I wish he didn't play as much as he did. I'm actually really shocked that he was a plus 15 in the game, because I'm like, how?
But
because
I'm telling you, it's because they were
shots.
over. It was a 4-on-3, and you just needed somebody that could be like a secondary guy. I mean, that was really why it was. He didn't make the shots. He didn't. But he at least was another guy that could, like, okay, you're scrambling. Let me get into the teeth of the defense. Make the pass to the corner for the wide open three. And they made a couple of them, but they didn't make enough of them down the stretch.
Man.
And
the worst part is they lost. What did they lose by 1 point?
1 point.
I hate this game. I
know.
hate everything about this game.
It's really annoying. Here's another thing I will say. Jamal Murray looked to me painfully out of shape. Like,
so bad.
This reminded me actually of the Detroit game when they were just coming back from COVID, and you're like, well, I was frustrated, but it was like, okay, well, at least, maybe they're sick. I think it's just the sickness. Tonight, he looked so tired. And here's my theory, Eric. I shared this with you the other day. The Nuggets have not been home for more than 2 consecutive games all year, right? They've been on this crazy road trip. I think their conditioning is really bad right now. And Yoke, even, I told you before the game, I'm like, Yoke looks a little puffy to me, man. He looks like like he's put on a little weight. I don't think they've been in the weight room. When you're on the road every night, you play a game, you travel. You're there for one night, then you travel. Like, I bet you they haven't been getting the right cardio. I'll bet you this is actually an unexpected piece of all of this, is that they haven't had the opportunity to actually have their regular routine where you wake up, go to the gym, get it in. I mean, you get that every now and then on the road, but there's a lot of these nights they're arriving at places 4 a.m. Like, they just can't do it. So I think they're a little out of shape, to be honest with you.
Having just come back from Chicago, I can confirm being on the road adds some.
But you were in the gym. I mean,
oh, dude, I was in the gym.
I mean, yeah. So.
I was in the gym. I was in the gym.
Yeah.
No, Jamal Murray looked like every time he was off the court, he's just blowing, just smoking butts, and then just like come back in like, who wants some? Who wants some? He really. I mean, there's got to be something to that. They really did look like they were sluggish. They were just sloppy. I mean, this is just like a peak. Like, why do I even like the NBA? Like, do I like the NBA, Adam? I'm not even
Well,
sure.
no, actually, you don't like the NBA. You like the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I do like. Do I like the Nuggets? I don't even know if that's
I think
true
you like
anymore.
the Nuggets. It
You
gets
like
to your
Jokic.
heart.
That's what it is.
I do like Jokic. Me and Jokic, the top human being.
But really, just to stick on Jamal and the conditioning, I don't
The
even.
sluggish.
It could be like the conditioning and things like that, and just looking sluggish. But he just does. We had arguments, and he had his little stint that we were like, is he back? He's clearly not back right now. He just does not look like
He
himself.
was back.
He's
I
not
thought he
back.
was back.
He's back to not being
Hey,
back.
hey, Dev, he's not back.
He is not
not
back.
back.
Like he cannot. He does not cause any separation at all. I don't feel like we've even seen like the footwork that we had arguments about for a while.
I think he has the footwork.
I just haven't seen it. It
It's
just
too
doesn't.
slow. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it has not been working. I think that's what it is. His
Dev, I still
offense-
got footwork, but it's not working. I'm not creating such separation.
his offense is just not there at all right now. And
It's
I think
so
the other
bad,
teams are now realizing, like, okay, maybe that's even why he has those good games, because they're like, okay, we're just going to dare you to try to beat us. Like sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. It hasn't been working right now. And it doesn't look like, I mean, I'm not saying that it looks like he's getting worse, because he's clearly not, but he doesn't look like he has that same fire with him, the same type of movements. The cadence is off. Just looks out of it right now, just disinterested. So I just want him to get back into that. And also, how do you get back into that? Like in the middle of this right now, I just think that he doesn't look good on offense or defense right now.
It's so true, and like it's not that he's just missing, or he's making terrible decisions. Like he's driving into the lane. There's three guys around him. It's like he makes like the most like difficult like attempt at a winding layup. Like he'll drive in. There's guys just waiting outside, wide open for 3-point. And he still insists on taking a circus shot at the rim. Like it just felt like this whole game, like everything was so easy for the Mavericks, and everything the Nuggets did was just the most difficult version of whatever it is that they were doing at the time. It was just absolute torture.
Yeah. That's one of the stories here is like if we go to the other side of the court, like Denver does, like try to get the ball popping and you have to enter the ball to Jokic, and sometimes that's hard. And then when they hard double, it's like, okay, they're compromised, but you still have to swing it around the horn and have guys who can know what to do and attack. Like it still takes some, even when it's easy, which is what Dallas was saying, we're going to overload and try to make it easy. It's still hard because you still have to make decisions and have guys who can make plays. Whereas Dallas, on the other hand, doesn't. They actually play, I think, the worst brand of basketball, but also the most simple. And I think there's something smart about the simplicity of it in that the ball's in Luka's hands. You got 5 out. You got 5 guys around the perimeter at all times. And there's a lot of ISO. Like they just set the table. They run a couple screen and rolls, get the switch that they want, spread, and then just attack one-on-one. And it's like there's not a lot of opportunity for turnovers because you're not doing anything complex. There's not a lot of opportunity for you to get tired because you're not doing anything complex. And to your point, Eric, like they either make it or miss it in isolation, but it's not hard. It's easy to get it to it.
Yeah, the thing that I love about that, like I think it's the worst brand, but the thing I love is they have the ball in their best player's hand, and then he gets to make the decisions.
Yeah.
So then everyone else around him is trying to figure it out. But the best guy has the ball in his hands at all times. Everyone else seems to be on board with getting them the ball, and then they could create for themselves. And then there's games like this where someone else gets to step up and they knock down their shots. Tim Hardaway Jr. goes for 29, and that's only on 12 shots in the game. They're knocking
he was
down
so
threes.
freaking on
miss.
fire. 6 of 8
Dude
from
couldn't
3.
miss.
Finney Smith, he finishes with
Those
19
two
because
dudes.
he's knocking down all of his shots
Dinwiddie.
and things like that. And then Dinwiddie gets to be who he is. So I think there's something about just them knowing what their offense looks like and what it's going to be every single time. And Denver at times just does not have that, and you have to guess what's happening each game. And I think that's difficult.
I think again though it just comes down to Jamal Murray because he's the guy. Yeah. He's the guy that as the point guard. Like we've talked about this before with Luka, you don't have to get him the ball. He brings it up the court. With Jokic, you kind of have to get him the ball, and that shouldn't be hard. And that's Jamal Murray's job. Like if they're going to overload like you on that, then you're going to be able to attack this and really be able to punish him. I mean, if you told Donovan Mitchell, for example, hey, you have a guy that's going to take 2. So you need to attack 4-on-3. Like Donovan Mitchell will be like, are you kidding me? Every time I get 4-on-3, every time, I'm going to score 50 every single time. And Jamal Murray, we know, can be that guy.
Yeah.
He's just not anywhere close to it right now. And that's what, so you mentioned the movements, Dev. He really does look like just like a old man game, you know, where you're kind of like, there's times out there where he's like wobbling or this or that. And you're kind of like, bro, are you hurt? Like, are you this or that? And I think it's just, again, not in great shape and still not over whatever hump there is. So.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say on Jamal Murray is we'll just go back to like a Monte Morris. At least when he was not scoring, he made it a point to get everyone else involved, or he knew that was not his night. Denver doesn't have a player like that right now. They need to score. They have offensive-minded guys, but there's not a guy that gets to set the tone on a night that they're not having a good night. And I think that's what Jamal has to find that balance of. On nights that your shot's not falling, and especially right now while you're working yourself through injury, at least be productive on your playmaking, be productive on your decision-making and getting others involved. You don't go 0 for 5 from 3 and 2 for 11. Like, hey, it's not your night. Try to get everyone else involved. He went plus 15 in this. He would have went plus 30 if he could just pass the ball and get everyone else involved. So it's just, I guess it's the processing for me.
Yeah. You got any other final Jamal thoughts there?
Let's move on, man.
You want to just move on? You know what? All right. It was nice to see Michael Porter on the side of the bench there. I wish he would be on the court.
It would be nice.
Tonight was one of those nights, especially late in the game when there was all those corner threes that wouldn't fall. You're like, if that's Porter, man, you're just going to murder him every time. I mean, again, this is in part a Dallas Mavericks strategy that probably goes way down the drain if you just have a 45% three-point shooter in the corner. It's like, oh, you're not going to scramble every time to have to go up against that. I did miss Michael Porter. I also missed Vanilla Porter.
Oh,
Vanilla Porter Jr. A little Chris. I would call it the official beer of winter. Remember, I said the Avalanche Amber Ale is the official beer of fall. Which
we are in the winter of our discontent as it comes to Denver Nuggets fans.
We are. Winter for me, like unofficially, has already begun. I know it hasn't actually begun for another like 3 weeks, but it's like, come on, it's cold, it's dark, sun goes down.
You kind of want to eat.
You kind of want to eat like a lot.
Put on a little weight.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you put it on a vanilla-scented candle and drink Vanilla Porter Jr., which you can get at Breckenridge Brewery. You can also get it here right at the DNVR Bar. And, of course, you guys also know about Breckenridge Brewery's beer locator. If you go to breckbrew.com, you can just search on the Breck Brew locator to find out where they have it near you. And they've got all kinds of good stuff. I mentioned the Vanilla Porter Jr. They have Vanilla Porter Jr. Peanut Butter, Vanilla Porter Jr. Raspberry, all of these different ones. You can actually go on there and just see all of the list of beers that they have, seasonal ales, whatever. And you could go through all of that and then just find out where they have it. So you can test all of the different ones that they have. Breckenridge Brewery, you want to check them out. Also want to tell you guys about DraftKings Sportsbook. Let me pull up that ad because I know we have a very specific one. It's the time of year.
Let's go.
It really is the time of year.
I thought we just discussed it was the time of year for putting on weight.
It is, well, Christmas. Everyone's excited about the gifts, the holiday spirit.
Man. I'm just imagining the gift you're getting for me. Oh, man.
What do you think it's going to be? Same as last year.
It's going to be marbling.
Marbling. No. You guys know, what about all the basketball? When I throw down on the NBA action, this sounds like my voice. When I throw down on the NBA action, it's got to be with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet just $5 pre-game money line on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Plus, everyone can combine multiple bets for a bigger payday with DraftKings same-game parlays. I always love when they have the boost. They've had it 2 days in a row. Is this a thing? Same-game parlay boost? We're in another season of parlay boost right now.
Parlay boost?
I'm very excited for that. Download the app now and get in on the holiday hoops action. Sign up with code DNVR. Place $5 pre-game moneyline bet on the NBA team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Promo code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. By the way, Dev, CU or CSU? Who's going to win at basketball this week?
CU.
CU's going to win?
I guess so.
Look at the conviction. Wow.
Damn, I'm going to take all my money right now.
Neither one of those teams are good right now.
Yeah.
And they're just inconsistent. So I'm going to go with CU.
Enough college hoops. Let's talk about the real players. The next guy I want to get to tonight is Bones Hyland because I thought that Aaron Gordon we'll get to Aaron Gordon really quickly. Aaron Gordon tonight goes for 27 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. I thought he had a very good game. He went 10 of 13 from the field. That's why he's the DraftKings Sportsbook's king of the game. There he is, right there. Man, even the DraftKings Sportsbook photo is not that good.
Yeah, it's like him struggling through traffic. That was probably a turnover.
It's definitely a turnover. But that's what we got.
Probably moved a guy out of the way and dunked it.
Actually, you're right.
That's what we've been seeing from him right now.
true.
Like
He's
he's
such a
been
beast,
playing
man.
so well. Like he's a beast, really.
27, dude.
Getting to the rim and scoring with ease. Like his offense is just kind of coming comfortably. He even had a pull-up three-pointer with a guy in his face.
Yeah, that
Yo,
was
Yoke did
wild.
not like that one.
None of us did. Until it went down.
I actually screamed no, but he made it.
Yeah.
And
We all
then
screamed no.
They went back to the bench. The whole bench was like shocked about that one.
Michael Porter loved that one. He was like, "Hell yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the exact one that I would have did right there. But no, like he's been taking advantage of all mismatches and just scoring with ease. He's also that was a good defensive game for him. Like he really made Luka work. I feel like they threw a lot of different looks at him, and he just was like stout on that end of the floor. Got to the free throw line, just playing like a lot more aggressive. Like he's playing his best basketball right now, and it has not slowed down.
Right.
And it's great. So
He's the second best Nugget this year. He really is.
Easy.
I think easily.
it is pretty easy. Not even close.
It
really.
started off like it was like, man, is this going to be the MPJ year?
Right. Yeah.
It's the AG year, man.
MPJ hasn't been. I will say this. MPJ, I feel like his value is rising as we go with further and
It's
further
true.
without him. Like
you see, like we need that spacing. We need somebody to just be a dead eye knockdown shooter from the outside. Like
we miss our Porter quarters for sure. We didn't get any
my
Murray
God,
flurries. We do
For
need
sure.
that.
Just to finish up with Gordon on my end, I feel like they should have went to him a little bit more in the second half.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he just offensively the ball didn't find him. Maybe he just kind of was relaxed, but like it was working throughout the whole game. So like why not just go down the stretch and get him those mismatch and try to score a little bit quicker with him. So I wish he got the ball more. Second half.
that was going down the stretch. You know, you just wanted Jokic to take over. He was getting doubled hard. You just wanted the Nuggets to be strong, like to go and take it to the Mavericks, like to take advantage of the fact that this was the second night of a back-to-back in the Mile High City, like, and just play them strong, make them run, like all of these things, and they just weren't doing it. They were just really content with outside shots. They were just, you know, I mean, this game aged me. I really feel like
did.
an older person after this game went.
You are an older man. I honestly thought Yoke was good in this one. Again, a team makes that decision. I do think the job is to pick the spot on the court to make them most compromised and get it out of there and trust your guys. And Denver, like, here's the thing: Denver had 115 points tonight. I don't know what their offensive rating, but this was not a fast game.
No.
I can look it up while we're talking here, but I thought Denver, did an okay job with this. Let's go to the guys that were more interesting, which I thought was the bench unit tonight. And we'll start with Bones Hyland, who tonight was offensively incredible. 20 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. That's a hell of a stat line, especially when you put in there 7 of 15 shooting and 5 of 10 from 3. It is underrated how easily he gets threes up. Getting 10 3-pointers up in a game is a hard thing to do. And he gets them up so easily, and to be able to make 5 of them. His offense, let's just stick on the offensive end for a second, but his offensive game tonight, I thought was like extremely impressive, getting the ball to Jokic and just scoring on everyone.
He's just so confident. Like he's a microwave scorer. All he needs to do is see one shot going, and then he gets himself going. He's into the crowd and energetic and making sure that they feel him. And also there was like a stretch that he just was like competing so hard. Where I felt like they were rallying. That pass, really, if they finished that right there, that was like a forced timeout. All the momentum
That was
going
a tough one. Yeah, it really was.
That's why it was so tough, because he was playing so well offensively and just hitting everything. He didn't care from how deep. He's getting into the lane, and he made Dallas have to think twice about continuing to send that double team, because he was a guard that just continued to penetrate the defense, put them on their heels, and then it just kind of shifted at times. So it was great to see him come back and play like well on the offensive end and just have that confidence.
Yeah, like that turnover was so brutal, but I agree. Like he looked great. Bones looked great. He really just feeds off of the home crowd. He really is like that. I mean, he's a pure vibes player. Like truly, he's like the absolute vibes meister of the Nuggets. He brought them back from the dead at a certain point. I agree with you. Like that pass, the pocket passing that he had with Jokic on the pick and roll,
Automatic.
was like so clean, so quick. It looked exactly like vintage Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Like hitting him on the roll, hitting him with speed. Like it was great. It was really impressive to see. And like it just,
if you get the ball to Jokic in that spot,
it was done. And then the teardrop done. Complete wrap.
That's also how you get Jokic going, is you give him that. That's like his favorite. You know, everybody has a favorite shot. You give Jokic 2 of those, so it's like, okay, he's going off. I mean, the Nuggets, it's funny. That's how I would draw up if I was the Nuggets' first couple of plays. Like, get Jokic a couple floaters from about 7 feet straight on, because then he won't miss the rest of the night. Bones did a good job of that. But that was the offensive end.
Right.
There was another end of the court,
There was
Dev.
another end of the court.
Actually, Eric, I'll let you start.
Well, I mean, he wasn't. There was a lot of times where like he would run out at shooters that just didn't even see him. He's too small. Like they were just shooting right over him, hitting threes. Like,
I don't mind his perimeter contest. Some guys, yeah, you're right, but
there were times during this that he was getting steals. He got a block. Like,
yeah, I mean,
he was
some
like,
stats up, yeah. He competed.
That's what I mean. I can't fault him for the effort. This is like a Compazzo thing. Like at a certain point, like he's just not big enough to guard some of these guys. Like they were hunting him all the time. They were trying to get Luka on him all the time. And I just don't even know what you do, frankly.
Luka's one thing, because Luka's really good. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
Luka's going to cook everybody. Like, Christian Brown tonight I thought was great. We'll get to him in a second. But, you know, Luka still gave him the business sometimes. But, so Luka's one. But it was like Dinwiddie. And it wasn't even just Dinwiddie. It was like inside. There was a couple plays where you're like inside and you're just kind of like, man, that's a no-hoper.
Yep.
So I don't know. Is it just that, or was it more than that, Dev?
I really think it was just that, honestly, because I really feel like the effort was there from him. Like I do think that he was playing harder. Yeah, he had that steal on Luka. The behind the back was a Luka steal where he got out on fast break. And I just feel like momentum got the best of him, where he, just threw it too hard.
Because it's one of those ones where if you get a regular layup, it's pretty dope. But if you get a behind the back layup,
it was just like it was too hard. But you can't fault him for that, because he's the one that works to get them the ball, and that it just would have been nice for them to get it. But I do think that he played hard and tried. The issue is other teams know he's too small. Other teams know that they're going to go after him, and they can go after him, and that's where the work has to come for him. That's where the progress has to come, where he has to say, no, you're not going to just hunt me every single time with other guys. Like, I really do. Again, everybody's going to get hunted by Luka. He doesn't care. He's the best at it. It's the other guys that was deciding to hunt him, and it just gives another wrinkle in their offense where they could just try other things, and that's where they were trying to go after him. So I do applaud the effort and hope he continues with that, because that's how you're going to be able to stay on the floor. But that's just something that he has to look at, like, hey, teams are trying to come after me. I have to get better on that end.
He knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's talked about it. But also, Dallas is a team that's not like complicated. I think they're the easiest team to analyze. It's like, Bones is over there. Hey, your guy, come set a screen. Okay, now he's on the ball or whatever. A lot of those were Dinwiddie too. You got nothing to add?
I don't know, man. Like
I saw some people saying this. I'll throw you this one. People were like, you can't win with Bones on defense. I don't think that's true.
It's absolutely not true. Like we've won many times with Bones on defense, and he made winning plays down the stretch defensively. The steal, like things that are like high effort plays. Like when it comes down to it, the Nuggets really need to lock down. More often than not, it's like just pure effort and hustle. Like and Bones can be at least a deterrent. Like if he can just keep guys from driving in deep. I mean, once you get Bones in deep in the lane, I mean, there's really like not much he can do. But there's a lot he can do to be disruptive. There's a lot he can do to just get into passing lanes, and there's a lot he can do to like just get hands up in guys' faces, which he does. And I just didn't see him as a huge liability on the defensive end. I'd look a million different places besides Bones when I was looking at like what what cost this game.
Not everybody plays the style Dallas does, and I think Dallas is especially a team that is especially looking for the mismatch or this or that, and that's where it's hard on Bones. Most teams are not content to let just all their guys ISO all the time. Like even Denver, it's not always just looking for Murray to get an ISO, right? Like that's not the plan. Dallas is. I will say this, though. I'm growing concerned about the pairing of Bruce and Bones. And on paper, you think, okay, Bruce, defensive guy, connector, this or that. But both of them are just so small. That's the thing is tonight you're going up against a team that does feature a lot of wings. Like people have talked about Dallas being a poorly constructed roster, and it is in terms of like overarching talent. There's not like that much talent, but it is a bunch of long guys. Again, that's a formula in the NBA. Like the NBA has a couple cheat codes right now. 5 out is a cheat code. It's so hard to guard because there's so many good shooters in the NBA, as evidenced by Dorian Finney-Smith and Tim Hardaway Jr. going nuclear from the three-point line, Josh Green shooting 40%. There's so many good three-point shooters in the NBA now, or guys that can become that. And so if you play 5 out, it's kind of a cheat code. There's so much spacing. But another cheat code is just get 6'8" guys. If you have a bunch of them, other teams are going to have a Bruce Brown that's like just way dwarfed by you, and you can throw it over the top, and there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, 6'8" guy that can knock down the three.
Yeah, right.
6'8" with the ratchet, you're going to be very tough to beat.
Which brings me to the most interesting point today that was not less pertinent, but it's a very interesting one. Christian Brown, I was worried. Christian Brown and Zeke Naji got their opportunity tonight, and I thought they were extremely good. In fact, I thought they were so good tonight that when you go back and watch this, Dallas was switching them both off ball. Like they were picking other guys. They were like, that's not who we're trying to go against. Now Luka did take it, got a couple and ones, including some like, oh my God, some of the softest stuff I've ever seen. Like Luka gets some crazy ones, especially relative to Jokic or whatever. And this game was especially soft. But I thought both of those guys tonight looked big. They looked mobile. They looked great defensively. Offensively, they're going to be somewhat limited or whatever. Right. But you know what? If you can knock down shots and be out of the way, sometimes that's okay in today's NBA. I thought both of those guys looked like they belonged on the court tonight after not being in the game for several games.
Yeah, it was great to see them get minutes. Also, they answer the thing that you need, especially in these type of games. Effort and defense. Like they're playing hard. They're using their body. They're using their size. They're physical. Guys are going to, if it's an offensive league, so they're going to be put in situations that they can't overcome. But the energy was completely there. And also they made it that guys around them felt secure, where it's not like, hey, I have to help side this guy the entire time because he's outmatched and things like that. So just being able to continue to give those small minutes, even if it's not super long, it just gives you an extra guy that you could throw out there at a person and give them some length, give them some just other looks. And I just feel like they gave other looks.
Yeah. Christian Brown was great tonight, I thought. Like
he can guard, man.
He can really guard. I mean, I don't trust him at all on offense, but he did have that three he knocked down. He had that like nice drive to the basket. Like which, I mean, that's all you need. That's really all you need. I mean, it would be nice if he also scored one more point. And anybody had scored one more point.
But are you nice. So here's the thing, though. A good defensive player just seems like guys, it's so hard to turn guys into good defensive players. He's there already. As a rookie, he's like a really, really good just at guarding people. The question is, can he get to be – I don't know if he's going to be a great offensive player, but can he be a guy that just shoots like 37% from three and then has like a little bit of a handle so that he can attack a scramble defense or something? I just feel like – the path to him being a starting caliber NBA player is not that hard. It's just not that tough to me. And tonight he played really good minutes against an incredibly tough matchup. And again, he just looked big. Like Luka's huge. Yeah. He didn't look dwarfed by Luka.
No, he also didn't look intimidated by Luka. That's the thing.
He takes that one on. Yeah,
he's just. That's the thing that to me that's been most impressive about him this year is that he is just. We were talking before, like he's just. Not shook. He's just like he doesn't get emotional. Like the game doesn't speed up for him the way it does other rookies, and he's like not flappable.
Right.
It's crazy. It's impressive. Like we've always said, like we expected him to come in and be the guy that's talking, to be like the Grayson Allen type that everybody compares him to, just because he's another white guy,
right, yeah, with hair.
With hair. But like he's not. He's just like unless maybe that's the next phase of his game, but. When he starts to feel more comfortable, but he just comes in. He's quiet and he's just stays in front of guys. He doesn't bite on head fakes, which is awesome. And I don't know. It is nice to see him get some minutes. Like you can't put any of this loss on him for sure.
Oh, for sure not. And he was even a +5 tonight in his 16 minutes, which is kind of a telling stat. I mean, I don't know that he needs more than 16 minutes. Like that was probably the appropriate amount of
mean,
minutes.
we've seen times. There's been games where he's like you've seen more and more confidence in his shot.
Right.
That the shot feels like that's what's going to take the most amount of
Right.
time. That's what's going to take the most like maturation and like the most just minutes, like the most seasoning for him to get to that place. Which I mean, you hate that you're in a place where you have to rely on the hustle of a rookie, but like that's kind of where we're at, right?
Yeah. So I like Christian Brown. I thought did a very good job. And then Zeke Naji, I mean, he's got to put a little bit more production up. He only had 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 block in his 14 minutes, which isn't great. He was a -3. But again, he's out there to be a defensive player. I would like to see him make a little bit more of an impact on just the boards and maybe on the scoring if he can get, in particular on the offensive glass. Like tonight, I know Denver is just not grabbing a lot of boards on the offensive end, but I felt like he was kind of easy to box out on that end of the court for whatever reason tonight. Maybe the whole team is so focused on getting back in transition. I think it's a little bit of a overcorrection, but nonetheless, especially on a team that doesn't get in transition at all. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't anything to do with the bench guys. It was the turnovers. And again, when I say that they were getting the ball out of Jokic's hands, usually when the Nuggets have a lot of turnovers, Jokic has 8, he has 9, and something like that. Jokic had 2 tonight. Oh, he had 3. He had 3 turnovers tonight. Instead, you get turnovers from everyone because everyone else had to make decisions tonight, and everybody else was turning the ball over. On the other side, though, I do want to talk about a couple of things with the Nuggets. Like, hey, this was George. I know George Karl right now is like fuming as he watches this show because George Karl loved the altitude. He loved Denver, and he loved a team that would run people off the court. And this is a trait of the Denver Nuggets. They don't do that.
Nope.
This was the easiest back-to-back that has happened in Denver since 2 weeks ago when the Knicks came in on a back-to-back and also had more energy in the Nuggets. I want to talk about that. And are we leaving something on the table? But first, I have something great to tell you guys.
Oh,
major announcement.
I'd love to hear this.
We got Illegal Pete's back. We got Illegal Pete's back. You guys know this is like my favorite one. Eric, you go ahead and give a little peek behind the curtain. How frequently am I eating Illegal Pete's here?
Much more frequently than someone would want to see behind the curtain.
We're hyped to be teaming up with.
If I see Adam, there's more, I would say an 85% chance I also see queso.
That's right. A little bit of queso, man. That's what I get. We are hyped to be teaming up with local legends, Illegal Pete's, here at DNVR. Illegal Pete's is always our go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. You can't beat their endless option for fresh ingredients and the strongest margaritas around. Man, they're always popping, by the way, with margaritas.
Yo,
I love a good margarita.
Dude, I could go for a good margarita. I had the reverse nachos at lunch, which is just they put all of the toppings in a bowl, and then you get
that's what you get too.
I had it for lunch. I don't know that I'll ever eat again. I'm still so unbelievably full.
That's the actual cheat code, Dev, is you get the reverse nachos around 1 o'clock. Only meal you need. No skip breakfast, skip dinner. 1 o'clock. You're good to go for the rest of the day. You guys, though, they got the happy hour from 3 to 6 every day with locations in Colorado and Arizona. The only thing bad about Illegal Pete's, we have to share them with PHNX. That's the only thing that's not good.
Well, listen, there's worse things.
There's worse things. Illegal Pete's is hooking you all up with a little something extra this year. Spend $100 on gift cards, and what do you get? $25 for free. I love this deal because it's like you buy $100 in gift cards for your friend. You're really just buying it for yourself.
What are you going to do with your $25 worth of queso?
That's a lot of queso, man. I'm going to keep going there all the time. I also want to tell you guys about Pins and Aces, the official golf apparel partner of DNVR. We love our Pins and Aces gear and get tons of compliments on and off the course. That's me, always getting compliments on the course. For my swing,
you just can't
for my Cobb salad.
Walking around Adam, it's just like a compliment here, a compliment there. Like so many compliments.
They're telling you. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and even our favorite beer sleeve, an innovative product that allows you to store 7 beers right inside your golf bag and keep drinking cold the entire round. Our golf guys, by the way, if you're on TikTok, if you guys TikTok, follow Big Drive Energy because they make hilarious TikToks. One of which they demonstrate the giant container of alcohol that they allow you to. It looks like it's really cool. Check out pinsandaces.com. Use promo code DNVR to receive 15% off your first order. Get free shipping. Guess what? Great idea for the holidays. You want to get a little Pins and Aces for that golf person in your life? Pinsandaces.com. And then lastly, we have a third one here, guys. The Game Time app. You guys know us. Right there, the link in the description of this show, you get the Game Time app. And if you click that link, you're going to get the greatest deals on Nuggets tickets, Avalanche tickets, whatever it is, tickets you're looking for. The Nuggets are home for the next month. There's so many games. I promise you that the city of Denver is going to have Nuggets fatigue. Sadly, I wish this weren't true, but the Nuggets are going to be home so much that there's going to be games where you can hop on there and find like $4 tickets to the Nuggets if you're up in the top, or you can get lower levels for like $40. So just hop on Game Time, especially right before tip-off. Right before tip-off is when all the prices drop. People are just trying to get rid of the tickets or whatever. You can get them for such a great deal.
Take advantage of the lack of faith.
The lack of faith.
Prey upon the soft.
For the weak, the meager. The Game Time app, you guys want to check them out. You guys know them, longtime partner. All right, guys. We got a couple Super Chats. We'll get to them in just a second. I just want to say this. I teased it a little bit. George Karl loved the altitude because it was such an advantage. And I'm telling you, I hate how much the Nuggets play slow. We always talk about there's not that many things that can go different between how a coach coaches or a philosophy or this or that. But one of them is just the risk reward factor. And Malone is so far on the risk mitigation side of we need to get back on defense. And if it costs us offensive rebound, Nuggets used to be the number one offensive rebounding team every year for 5 years with Jokic. All of a sudden, they're just mediocre. That's because that scale got turned to the other way of like, hey, we don't want to risk getting beat in transition. And then the same with playing fast. Why don't you play fast? Because every now and then a guy throws a behind-the-back pass that goes into the stands. It's like, we don't want to do that. And we have a great half-court player in Nikola Jokic that they score anyway in the half-court. So why do that? Well, why do it? Is because when a team used to come in, you guys remember this, a team used to come into Denver not that long ago. Ty Lawson, Kenneth Farid, Andre Iguodala, this guy, Danilo Gallinari. You come in on a second night of back-to-back, and the coach would be like, we're not playing our starters tonight. There's no hope. There's no hope. Are you kidding?
Straight track meet.
Track meet, Ty Lawson. It'd be first quarter, it'd be like 40-23, and the head coach would look around and be like, not tonight. We're not doing that. Man, you walk into Denver a second night of back-to-back, and you're like, this can be easy. They walk the ball up the court. They don't ever go for offensive rebound. They're going to play slow. To me, this is a real thing, man. And I don't think you can't change that overnight, but it's a trait of the Michael Malone era where I'm like, why are the Nuggets the easiest team to play in Denver?
Is some of this Jokic? I mean, you're saying like early on it was just coming. I mean, Jokic.
So I'll give you a stat actually that negates this. On second spectrum tracks, when a player crosses half court, when they bring the ball up, fastest on the team, Nikola Jokic. Slowest in the NBA, Jamal Murray. And by the way, NBA. For the third straight season now, his last healthy season, slowest in the NBA. Season before that, slowest in the NBA.
Yeah.
But it's not just him, by the way. Bones Hyland also really slow at this. I think it's just a point of emphasis. Dev, you know this. If you can walk the ball up the court, you're going to walk the ball up the court. If your coach is like, Dev, get it up the court, that's when you're like, okay.
Yeah, it has to be a point of emphasis. And it also, it's unfortunate that they're not getting out and running because like you said, teams used to look at their schedule or know that they had a back-to-back and say, hey, this is a game that we're going to rest a specific guy because we know it's actually like a health concern to be able to go into altitude and have to run like that and things like that. And they're not using that to their advantage. Like there's a reason that, those Ty Lawson teams and Kenneth Farid, they were having good at home records because they're using that to their advantage. There was also like bitching about how it was an advantage for Denver to be able to use that. You haven't heard that in a long time. They don't even talk about it. Like you need to use that altitude where teams have to make a decision if they want to do those things. There's no reason that you should come to Denver on the second night of a back-to-back and be able to hang or compete or even push the pace. I feel like teams are pushing the pace against them at home. That just doesn't make sense, especially when you have guys like Jamal, you have guys like Bones. Those are guys that can get out and run. Get out and especially with Aaron Gordon, he plays the same type of way where he could play above the rim and things like that. And then you just talked about Jokic being able to do that. So why not just give it a try for a little bit to just see if that works? And then you don't have those type of turnovers because they're getting used to it.
Yeah, I don't mean necessarily that Jokic is himself slowing it down, but I just mean like the fact that the Nuggets have become such a half-court offense. And it's sort of
they should be, though. But
I mean, but I know you get
into your set. Yeah.
Yes, but I feel like they've gotten to the place where like, okay, we're gonna get up. You're right, though. They just need to get into that quicker. They've gotten, I guess, maybe a little bit lazy, a little bit like sluggish.
I just don't think it's a point of emphasis. It's like it's a thing that if you're, because I asked Michael Malone about this at practice the other day, and he was just like, if you look at our half court offense, it's effective. And my whole thought is, yeah, I know,
but it could be more.
But no, not that it could be more. It's that there's auxiliary things that happen when you wear a team out. If a team gets scored, if you score on a team every time in the half court, but they're not tired, it's like, well, that sucks, but whatever. We got rest, so at least we got something out of this possession. Whereas if you're wearing a team out, then they walk the ball up, then they play dumber on the offensive end. And then lastly, here's the craziest thing. Dallas Mavericks on a second night of a back-to-back. Dorian Finney-Smith, 35 minutes. Luka Doncic, 37 minutes. Nobody on the Nuggets played more than 34 minutes. Like, how crazy is it that the starters, who, by the way, are the ones that won, like Jokic a +2, Murray plus 15, Caldwell Pope +1, like these are the guys that win their minutes, but they played less than the guys on a back-to-back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's always Denver, too, by the way. If you look at their starters, they're always let fewer minutes than most teams. Just something to kind of take note of. I think I heard a phone call. Do we have the man with the wind in his hair? Live from Ball Arena. Oh, my goodness. There he is. Handsome as always.
What's up, guys?
Wow. That was a weird echo. Hey, man. So do you have, before you take us in there, just what's the vibe, man? TNT game? What was the vibe there?
TNT game, good crowd, I thought. Crowd was pretty loud when they needed to be tonight. It was a game that the Nuggets could have had. They were in position, unlike they were against the Hawks and the Pelicans.
Right.
They were right there. And, they had Dallas on the second night of a back-to-back. Like you guys were just saying, they had their chances. They had their opportunities and just couldn't close. Couldn't close down the stretch. It was definitely frustrating to watch, and you could feel that post-game too. There's definitely some frustration in the locker room for sure.
Really? That's interesting. Let's get to that then.
Yeah, we'll start with Michael Malone. He started by saying, look, there are no moral victories. And at the end, he said, we wish we had another timeout. That's on –
Yeah.
and then he said, that's on me.
Yeah.
But
I like that. Good job. I mean, did he explain why he was out of timeouts?
No, he didn't. He did not. I think he used one to get Bruce Brown back in the game with like 5 minutes left or something, and then he used his other with like 16 seconds left.
Yeah.
Something like that. He didn't really expand on that, though. But his kind of overall message was, look, we can't beat ourselves. 17 turnovers for Denver tonight, leading to 23 points for Dallas. That's very similar to what happened in the New Orleans game, too.
Okay, yeah, for sure. All right, what else do you have to say? What was his mood, too, by the way? Because he's been hot the last 4 games or 3 games.
He was – I wouldn't say he was hot tonight.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say he was hot. Disappointed, though. Very disappointed, but not like as hot as he's been. And just kind of more on the turnovers. He told his players kind of in the lead up to this game that, Dallas, they like to shrink the floor defensively. And he had stressed that Denver can't play in crowds. And he said a bunch of their turnovers tonight came from just trying to dribble through people and playing in crowds. So he said bad passing, bad spacing, over dribbling, all of that contributed to the turnovers.
Yeah, he's right.
Just defensively, he said they had moments. We had good possessions, but it still wasn't good enough. And he was just kind of expanding on that, how Denver can have good defensive stretches and then just totally lose it. And he said that's kind of been our issue this year. We've had moments, we've had quarters, halves, we had some games. It just hasn't been consistent enough this season.
Yeah.
He said he liked the energy that Christian Brown and Zeke Naji played with tonight. He reiterated, like he did pregame, that he needs to play Christian Brown more. I thought it was kind of funny. Christian Brown goes from out of the rotation the last couple games to like being inserted for a key defensive possession with like 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. But it seems like he will definitely stick in the rotation. Thank God. And then
so funny.
And then the final one from Malone talking about Jamal's night. I mean, Jamal obviously struggled offensively tonight. I thought he had those 2 defensive possessions against Doncic in the post late, I thought were awesome.
Yep. Those were the only
Jamal-
2, though, by the way, because I thought he had bad defense most of the game, but he did step up in the clutch.
Yeah. Yeah, he struggled outside of that. And then Malone said tonight was just a reminder that Jamal is still a work in progress. And, if his offense isn't going, he wants him to help in other ways.
Yeah, that's the bummer of the night for sure.
Yeah. Then we talked to Aaron Gordon, Bones Hyland. I'll start with Aaron Gordon because you could really feel the disappointment from Aaron Gordon, and he was bummed out, man. And I really liked it. What'd you say, Dylan?
Can relate.
Yeah, but at least I know that Aaron Gordon cares. I don't know. I feel like I can become really jaded just being around these guys because a lot of times it feels like we might care more than some players
Totally,
just after a loss.
Yeah.
But Aaron Gordon actually cares. So I actually like that. I liked just seeing that emotion from him. And he was just talking about the losing streak they're on, 3-game losing streak. He was saying how our energy level on the defensive end, our urgency needs to be higher. We just have to pick it up. We need to communicate better. We just need to kind of lock in. The focus just needs to be there. We need to be more defensive oriented over this next stretch of games. That has to be the priority. You could just kind of feel how disappointed Aaron Gordon was tonight. You could even tell walking off the court, he was pissed.
Yeah.
He was definitely pissed tonight.
That's tough. He played so well, man. That guy is a gamer. Maybe he'll step up more in leadership role.
Maybe.
We never think about him as being that guy, but
Well, there was a whole debate about Mr. Nugget.
still on the table. I mean,
Still on the
it's
table.
Still on the table.
Will the race ever be called?
What is the voting?
We thought everyone was Mr. Nugget, but perhaps nobody's Mr.
Yeah,
Nugget.
maybe there's an absence of Mr. Nugget.
We're counting ballots by hand, actually. That's why it's taking so long.
All right, what else?
So, Aaron Gordon, just on his offense, 27 points tonight, 10 of 13 shooting. I thought he put it pretty simple, and he put it pretty well. He says, look, I'm just taking what the defense gives me. I'm faster than the bigger guys. I'm bigger than the smaller guys. Boom, there you go. That's his mindset right there.
That's such a good mindset, man.
Yeah. And then we talked to Bones Hyland as well, and he was talking about the difference between last game and this game, and just kind of what his mentality was tonight. He says he just went out there and he was Bones Hyland. He said he played his game. He had a conversation with Mike Malone at shoot-around this morning about what happened in New Orleans, how he only played 5 minutes. He said, we're on the same page now. Malone knows what he needs from me, and so now I just got to go out there. We're on the same page now. He was critical of himself at one point tonight. He kind of brought up one of his defensive miscues when he got caught sleeping on Finney-Smith on a backdoor cut. Bones definitely struggled defensively tonight.
Yeah.
And I do feel like he knows that. Defensively, he said, look, we're frustrated right now. We're losing games that we're supposed to be winning. We're not playing with a sense of urgency. The locker room is definitely frustrated. We're just giving up games. It's stuff we can control. It's not out of our control. We're just giving up games literally. So just kind of more there on that. This is a frustrated locker room right now for sure. And I feel like tonight, maybe even more so because they just felt like they gave this one away. They lost by, double digits against the Hawks, or close to double digits in New Orleans tonight. They could have had this one on their home floor finally, where they haven't played a lot of games. They just gave this away. And so there's just a lot of frustration there.
Yeah.
And then the last one from Bones, he was asked about what was the difference with the second unit tonight. And guys, he said, the difference was me being out there.
Was what?
The difference was being out there.
The difference was him being out there.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Can't argue with him.
Hey, man, I noticed the same thing. That was one of my notes. He was playing tonight.
Yeah, that was good. It was good at that.
That's great.
He goes, it's a simple answer, me playing.
Oh man, I love it. Hey, you know what? I wish I had like 1/1000th of his confidence. I really do.
You would be
So
unbearable.
insufferable.
Oh, my God.
so insufferable.
You would turn into a full megalomaniac. No one needs that. Make sure we insult Adam at every turn. Please.
Yeah,
Keep
of
it
course.
down.
Keep me humble here.
said of course.
Anything else, Harrison, from the arena tonight that sticks out to you?
Man, anything else that stuck out to me tonight? I was hanging out with Ryan Green. That was fun.
That was fun.
RG was at the arena. Got some good video.
The perch popping.
Perch was good. Section 130 is going to be the new perch because that's closest to my seat.
There
So,
you go. Make him walk the
yeah.
lead. So if you ever at the arena, guys, go to section 130 at halftime.
Yeah.
Hang out with other Nuggets fans. It's actually pretty cool.
I miss the perch. I haven't
miss the
been
perch,
to
too.
a goddamn Nuggets game in like 2 years.
And we need to get you back out there. Real quick before you go, Win, what color would you say your shirt is?
this is a black shirt.
Oh, I thought it was olive. It looked a little olive there.
Oh no!
was
He's
really
wearing
hoping.
black on black. What do you? But this is the man in black. This is the Johnny Cash of the podcast.
He so is the Johnny Cash. All right. Thanks so much, Win. Can't wait to see what you cook up online.
Thanks, guys.
Get home safe. Let's get to some super chats before we get out of here, shall we? Who wants to read these?
Holy cow! I cannot see that.
Up top, Ashtray. Let's make something clear. Firing Malone changes nothing. If anything, that
It
makes
changes the code.
If anything, that makes
if
things
anything
worse.
that makes things yeah.
You can see here on the.
Keep going.
Okay, these issues are team wide issue. They have to figure this out. There were signs. Keep up the hope.
Yeah. I mean,
the hope
the
up.
fire Malone stuff is like, guys, that's a conversation for much later. That's not
I
a
know.
conversation for now.
No,
you
I
can
know.
have it though. You can vent. You guys can
Dude,
vent. to us.
it's frustrating.
Let it
Listen,
out.
it is frustrating. There are some very clear things where you're like, man, why? Like,
Why?
you have the players. We have seemingly the perfect complement of players. Like, it would be nice if they could all actually get on the goddamn court at some point and we could actually play the way that the team has been constructed. But there are times when it's like very frustrating to be a fan of a Michael Malone led team. He doesn't make great adjustments at times. Although I don't think tonight was a reflection of that. Like, I think, like Dev said earlier, like, he made a lot of adjustments. He did things. I mean, Zeke played a lot. Christian Brown played a lot. Like, he was trying things out there. Outside of just like the large philosophical thing that you're talking about, like, why does this team not play with more urgency? Why are they not pushing the ball? Why are there things that seem like they're just lingering and not, sort of like pushing the team in the right direction? Like, tonight is a hard, like, I mean, people are very mad at Michael Malone in this chat. Like, tonight didn't feel like a Michael Malone failure to me. I don't know if you guys disagree. Like, but I mean,
I don't think so.
I get
the Blacko minutes obviously went poorly, but I mean that wasn't something I expected. And then he made the adjustment in the second half not to play him. So, yeah, we'll see. Team's in a rut, right? They're in a hole. They just got to dig their way out.
I know it. All right,
Drunk philosophy. Always $2 at a time. We have to we might end up having to raise the rate to what gets read.
Drunk philosophy. Time to let go and just power all in offense. No D ?
No. Nope. What else? I'm going to give a timed, like the response time will be in proportion to the super chat.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Super chat, $2. Super chat, run them out. The goddamn gym. Good fushing take, Adam.
You know what? I'll give this one a lot of
Let's
time.
let this one super chat. What a great super
Great. Man,
Way to
Drunk
change
Philosophy
up.
has some really good stuff to say, man. That was incredible.
Great stuff. Let's see. LeBron, KD, and Steph average more playing time than Jokic. Anthony Davis averaged more. I know Jokic is hyper efficient, but is 31.9 minutes per game enough?
I mean, we talked about that too, so we did get to all of these topics already. But I mean,
this is the thing. Like with Jokic, it's like, you want him to be fresh when it comes to the playoffs. You
Yes.
don't want to overuse him. He plays in such a way that he can play 60 minutes a night. We've seen him do it. Like, he has a very like energy conservative style of play. Like everything he does is efficient. It would be nice to get him out there longer. I mean, it's always around like the 7-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Like, get him in the game. Get him in the game. It would be nice if he just played the entire goddamn fourth quarter.
You know what else Jokic does that no one else does? Plays the whole goddamn season. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, like I
great
would
point.
rather have Jokic for 82 games than 37 minutes.
It's a great point. Let's see. Drunk philosophy.
I'm telling you, we got to raise the rate. Okay, we might have to.
He paid $5.
Oh, really?
$5. Luka went off on his teammate for not being in position that caused a turnover late game. Will Jokic ever hold his teammates accountable like this? Jokic doesn't yell at his teammates. Jokic gets frustrated and just like gesticulates.
Yeah, I just think some people are different on the way that they interact with teammates. It would be great to see him have those type of moments, but maybe he just does it in a different way.
We watched him with Team Serbia. He got in that guy's face and was screaming at him.
Oh yeah, who that old guy with the bald head? Actually, he wasn't old. He was just bald.
Maybe it's a
Caruso?
language thing.
Maybe he hates people that are bald.
Maybe. Oh boy, this could be.
Could be.
Could
Tough
absolutely be. Let's see here.
Dreamweaver.
Yeah. Brown needs more minutes. Murray needs less. Peace.
I think it's fewer, but yeah.
Oh, you mean it was grammatically incorrect?
Murray needs fewer minutes.
Well, you're saying he needs
It'd be less minute, but if it's plural, it'd be fewer.
less minutes. He needs less minutes.
Fewer minutes.
This is terrible. See,
If you say less than $5, I'm critiquing the grammar.
yeah, really, like truly, like yeah. Spend money for a super chat so Adam can just eviscerate your very ideas.
Just teasing, guys. Come on.
Super chat. Why doesn't Jamal pass to Gordon?
What?
Interesting. Does he not pass to Gordon?
Guys, come on. Like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't noticed that.
I've not noticed that either. It could be something to it. I'll have to pay attention. Let's see. This is from Alan. Let's see. Is it really in-game details, or are we at the point of relationship failure? Once communication and expectations fail, the solution is usually change.
Everybody knows that. I'm just going to tell you from experience myself. You just got to communicate a little bit better,
Yeah,
or it's
dude.
time to just, get out of there and
Relationship
change
advice.
up and stuff like that. So you're on to something, man. I'm glad that you looked within. Seek help.
Seek help, baby.
Cue that outro music there, Kale. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats in a loser's
Yo,
lounge, man.
this was
we have
a-
the best people on earth.
We are the best people on earth. I will say the chat very salty tonight. Very
Are they yelling at me?
yelling at you earlier. Somebody told me that no one's here for me. Like seriously, like honestly, God,
You know
like,
something that I
real
love
deal
about our show?
assholes in the chat tonight. But all the same, we appreciate you coming. You know?
I love that our show, there's like, everybody has a favorite, like there's different favorites, but there's also, everyone has a least favorite.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it's true.
so it's a double-edged sword.
Every dog
really.
has his day. Sometimes it's your day.
Sometimes I'm like, in the chat, like, oh man, this guy says, oh,
is
Adam's
great.
here. Then later it'll be like, damn it, Adam's here.
They'll be like, oh, it's a terrible take. You should kill yourself.
Jump off a bridge. You know what sucks? The Nuggets are 0-3. But this is all part of the process. Nuggets trying to become a good team. I'll tell you whose stock is up. You know whose stock is up so high right now?
Who's that?
Michael Porter Jr. I can't wait for that guy to get back and blow to some offensive assignments and, not understand which play he's supposed to run. And, oh, by the way, Nuggets dominate when he's on the court, because that's exactly what happens, and I miss it so bad. And also make just a bunch of threes. So hopefully he's healing up.
Oh, Davion, you are terrible. Please never come back to our show. And I mean that very sincerely.
There you
Go away forever.
There you go. Everybody else, though, we've enjoyed having you guys along for this great ride. Don't forget all the great content that we have on the DNVR.com. Harrison Wind always puts something together. We'll probably have a list up sometime before Thursday. We got to figure out this defense, man.
Yeah,
We got
I
to
know.
figure it out before too long. So we got to get into the film study. Brennan Vogt will have some grades for you. And then we've got all kinds of cool stuff. You guys know right now what's popping off. CU Buffs. If you're a Buffs fan, man, we got all kinds of cool stuff going on our DNVR Buff show. Check everything else we got going on. Everybody else, we love you.
Burn in
Have a
hell,
great day.
Davion.